Well, first my sound was a disaster, and now my entire intro just disappeared. Lovely Tuesday. Hey guys, this is Jules with True Crime Reactions. You're only going to see me in this towel for a second. I was uploading everything that I had done for this video, which is an update on Noel, which is the 6-year-old little boy that is missing and presumed deceased out of Everman, Texas. Most of you guys know I've been following that one pretty closely. So I'm only going to be here for a second. Like I said, there's an update, and it's kind of a sad update. You're going to hear all about it here in a minute. Just so you guys know, the canines did alert to some things, but there has been no remains found at this time. So I'm going to go ahead and finish cooking dinner and finish doing what I'm doing to my hair up here. And let's get to past me now. So let's go ahead and go through this Fox 4 article where they talk about exactly what happened in this second search of the residence yesterday. Now the title is Everman Missing Boy. Investigators believe human remains were once in shed near where he lived. Okay, and this was just posted at 3 p.m. Texas time, which is Central. Investigators in Everman say they believe human remains were once in a shed where missing 6-year-old Noel lived with his family. On Monday, investigators dug up a new, unpermitted concrete patio paid for by the boy's mother, Cindy Rodriguez Singh. Everman police say early in the investigation, they learned Noel's stepfather, Arshdeep Singh, disposed of a large indoor-outdoor carpet in a dumpster prior to the family fleeing the country. Multiple human remains detection canines alerted officers to the carpet, which was used at the base of a makeshift shed that was on the property until about a month ago. It was previously built where the current patio sat. So this carpet was the base of a makeshift little shed that was then replaced with the concrete patio that is in big question right here. And a lot of people are questioning it because A, they live in this shed shack behind this guy's house, not inside of an actual house, like an actual like shed shack. Y'all can see the videos of the inside of it all over the place. It's just so strange that she would pay to have this concrete slab like commissioned and put into the ground. Now apparently the guy that owns the house doesn't have any other family. So she was actually the one who was going to inherit the entire property, house, shed shack, the whole everything, once he passed away. So technically, I mean, it's really not too strange that she would want to like make improvements on the property that she would in turn inherit later on, you know, her and her kids. But the timing of it and the fact that they didn't try to make any improvements to how they were living currently, like I said, I thought it was already really odd to me already. The timing of her having the twins, the timing of her getting the passport photos taken, the timing of them getting the passport applications done, and then they were able to skip the entire country 8 deep on a plane all the way overseas overnight, and it's like almost $5,000 if not more. It's as if they knew they were going to have to run, and they made sure that they had the money they were going to need when they needed it, because the timing of everything is just too convenient. I don't care what anybody says. They're hiding something. It goes on to state, police say the same piece of carpet was once on the floor of an older shed that stood on the property until about a month ago. Okay, that's what I just said. Okay, both the carpet and the concrete where the shed once stood caused the cadaver dogs to react. As the digging continued, topsoil was removed and placed in nearby areas. The canines followed the soil and stopped alerting the investigators to the patio area. No body or physical evidence was found, but investigators say they now believe human remains were contained in the shed before the installation of the patio. One of the interesting pieces was the carpet wasn't even at the house. It wasn't even at the location, said Everman Police Chief Craig Spencer. He was at the vigil last night. He gave a speech too. So the canines to be able to alert on a piece of evidence at one place and then go over and alert again where it was previously, all that tends to add up. It does lead us to believe that there were human remains at one point in time in the shed that used to exist where now the concrete patio sits. The Everman man who owns the property where Noel, who police now believe is dead, lived, says investigators are desperate and looking in the wrong place. Charles Parsons, 71, spoke to Fox 4 Tuesday morning for a second time, which is what I previously mentioned. Rodriguez Singh, her new husband Arshdeep Singh, and 7 of her kids, including Noel, lived in a shed behind Parsons' house on Wisteria Drive in Everman. Me and the kids went down that street when we put up flyers, put some on the stop signs in the street. The slab was poured after Noel supposedly had disappeared. Why would he be underneath the slab, said Parson. I think they just tore it up because they don't have no idea where the boy is and they are frustrated. Parson said Rodriguez Singh paid for the patio to watch her kids and because she wanted to add a room onto the back of the house for her daughter to live. I know the police are desperate to find the boy, but they are looking in the wrong place, said Parson. Again, and he's been stating that. He doesn't even believe Noel could be gone. That's why he apparently didn't attend the vigil last night, because he doesn't think that he's dead. Okay, well, it was also for the fact that he's, like, missing and we don't have any proof yet. And you've known this kid apparently his entire life. His entire life. Because he's known the mother for a decade. Noel is 6. That means for at least 4 years prior to her having him, he knew this woman. So how do you just not go to a vigil for a child who you've literally known for over 6 years and just be so emotionless towards it, regardless of your beliefs, regardless of what you want to believe? I don't even believe him, because like I've been commenting on some of the stuff, on some of the interviews that he's been doing, and I'm looking at him and I'm like, this dude is lying. Like, I don't know if he's really like lying, or if he's just not telling more than what he knows, because he doesn't seem, there's just something off. There's just something off. I don't know if he's just really trying to protect her, because it's kind of like a father-daughter relationship, which I can understand to a point, but at this point there's a child that's possibly dead and she's done all the circumstantial things to make her look guilty AF. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion on this situation. But as of today, it states that the crews were resting for all of Tuesday, and then it just goes on to talk about how they took off overseas, went to Turkey and then to India, and then it states that Parsons still believes the boy is alive in Mexico, which we talked about. And this is something that I was discussing with my neighbor that came by earlier. I was telling her, you know, they already looked to see if Noel had crossed the border, right? So knowing that she couldn't cross the border because she's on probation, and knowing they had no proof that he crossed the border with his social security number or any of his identification because he was, you know, a legal citizen, then that means she would have had to have crossed illegally. And like I mentioned, there's no telling what could have happened if that's the case. And then Parsons, the old man, keeps saying something about going to the dad's sister, which is what we've talked about before. Okay, where apparently the police have already talked and have been in talks and are still talking to Noel's father down in Mexico. And the Mexican authorities are helping them communicate with him. So don't you think that by now, with all this crazy stuff going on, that if that was the case, he'd have told them from the beginning, yeah, she wanted me to take him, but I said no, so he's with my sister? Like, that would have put all of this to bed a long time ago. And nothing, not a single thing that this woman has said, or that Charles Parsons is claiming that she said, or that he knows, can be verified by anything that we're learning. It's all the very complete opposite. And Parsons just continues with, until you show me a body that he's dead, then I'll believe you. I think no way he is dead. Somebody's got him. Somebody's scared they're going to get into trouble with the law because they've got him, and they've got him illegally. Okay, well then that tells me that he knows more. And if that's not the case, then he's no longer alive. And if he is no longer alive, then he's telling these stories of false narratives and either really truly believes it because it's coming from somebody that he deems as like a daughter, or he's just saying what he has to because she is somebody who's like a daughter. I don't know. But this whole thing just doesn't make any sense. So this is my question, and they didn't answer it as far as I can tell here. Where did they find the carpet? Did they already do warrants at the dump? Because if this was put in a dumpster like some weeks ago, I guess we would kind of need to know when they found out about the stepdad throwing away the carpet in order to, I guess, figure out that timeline. But it seems as if the canines definitely alerted on the carpet, which means they have the carpet after the stepdad threw it away. So they would have had to have alerted to it like in an evidence room and then compared it to the area. So that's just how in my brain that would work, because like I said, it's been some weeks since they fled the country, and if they have a carpet that was thrown away, they've been doing some seriously good investigative work. Wow. So yeah, I guess I am really glad they had decided to like go back, because like I said, this is the second time they've searched that area. It took a second look to find it. Now, I'm not stating that it's because of TexSar that this was found, because obviously with them having a carpet for the canines to compare things to and to be able to compare their alerts to, they had to have been on to this situation prior to TexSar coming out. And maybe because Everman is just so teeny, because when I'm telling you guys, it's a village. It's a village, okay? They probably just didn't have the right gear. But with the FBI involved, you think they would have let them borrow it. The way that these things work with the technology that's allowed and who has access to use it and all this other crazy stuff, I realized how horrible it was jurisdiction-wise in the Dylan Rounds case. Like, it's actually kind of disgusting the way that some of these agencies make it so hard for other agencies to get what they need. It's just on my nerves. I hate it. I just hate it. This is disheartening, but it proves kind of at least what I think happened here. Whatever did happen to cause whatever did happen to Noel, I think happened shortly after she had the twins, but definitely before that November 1st date where she started getting everything for the passports together for everyone but Noel. I'm just going to continue to guess that little few week timeline there. So I guess we'll see what comes of this new information. I'm sure a bunch of testing and a bunch of other things are going to need to be done in that entire area now. So the next question would be, if they can show that remains were in that area prior to the concrete being poured, where were they moved before the concrete was poured? That's the next step, I guess. Let's see what happens. I hope they come to a conclusion soon, because this is just getting more and more disgustingly heartbreaking with every update that we get. I don't understand. All right. See y'all.